In the previous two vlogs, I shared all my secrets on how I plan my outfits and pack my luxury pieces for a trip. We have arrived in London and already did quite a bit of window shopping. But today the fun continues. We are passing by Hermes and Celine to look at some new wishlist worthy pieces. So if you'd like to come along, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching.
Imagine a world out of this world where rules are meant to be broken, falling apart. Spoiler alert, the villain goes off the deep end. Life is pretty boring, ain't no big exciting.
I have to be honest, I didn't vlog that much my second day in London just because there was so much going on. I didn't have a single second to pick up my phone, but I did quickly stop by Chanel, mainly because I wanted to look at the Chanel 22 bag, which I didn't end up buying, but I did try on this knit piece, which I didn't love, but I still wanted to show you here. And then on our way to dinner, I ended up stopping by Loro Piana and I came across this card holder, which I loved. I haven't bought it yet, but it is something that is going to be going on my wish list because I do need a new simple compact card holder. The next day I started at Soul Cycle, after which I worked my way over to New Bond Street for a quick browse, which, believe it or not, this was my first time ever going to the Hermes boutique on New Bond Street, which is kind of the local flagship. It's a beautiful, huge store. It kind of reminds me of the old Madison store in New York. It's beautiful. They have a gigantic home department, and this was actually my first time ever seeing this folding desk from Hermes in person. It's something that, I mean, I guess I could say that I've had my eyes on this for years. It's something that I adore, but I think it is like 60 or 70,000 euros. It's something ridiculous, but it is a beautiful piece of furniture. I also looked at their Soleil d'Hermes selection, which is the collection that I got my little mug from, which is a collection that I didn't expect to love as much as I do, but I actually think I'm going to be picking up a few other pieces from this collection just because I love the fact that you can put any of these pieces in your dishwasher and you don't have to worry about hand washing them every single time. And I also surprisingly love that ray of sunshine they add to my home. But it was a great experience going to this boutique. I also had a look at this new take on the Shandong bracelet and necklace, which they now make out of white gold with the T-bar covered in diamonds, which was just mind-blowingly beautiful. And if you're thinking, gee, did you ask for a bag? What was your experience? I personally didn't ask for a bag, but I did ask about the local process, and what I was told by the gentleman who was helping me and by my local friends is that you can make a leather appointment for non-quota bags. It is not guaranteed that you will be offered anything, but you can make a leather appointment if you're looking for a bag. But if you're looking for smaller quota bags, so smaller Kellys, Birkins, Constances, it is impossible to get one. As a tourist, they're going to be reserved for their local clientele. This is not my personal experience, but this is something that I heard directly from the source. I feel like it's a little known fact that Celine creates some incredible pieces of fine jewelry. They do have several different lines within their jewelry collection, but my personal favorite is the Sentimental line, which has some literal hidden gems, this being one of them, which is this really simple solid gold pendant that features a single baguette diamond, which I just love the look of. I loved how simple it was, yet it was so beautifully crafted that I immediately had to try it on. I didn't end up buying it in London just again because it would have been so much more expensive, but it is on my wish list and I think it is going to be the next piece that I pick up because I loved not only how it looked on its own, but also the way it looked with my Hermes finesse pendant. And since I was already at Celine, I of course had to look at their sneakers just because I have been loving my all white Celine sneakers so much that I was really happy to find another pair that was quite similar, but instead of the sole being in white, it actually featured this really cool natural looking rubber sole. After a quick lunch and the quickest browse at Tom Brown, I actually had to head to the airport, which this trip was really short but really sweet, and I really appreciate you guys coming along. But before I let you go, I did want to give you a little update on my Row poly bag, which I will do an in-depth review on in the coming weeks. I have been using it for the past week or so, so I do have a pretty good idea of what I like about this bag, what I dislike, how I enjoy styling it, how I don't think it really works, which let me just give you a little sneak peek. It works with almost anything and everything. But I did want to give you an update because I got so many people asking me, what's going on, G? I thought you didn't like bags and leather goods from the Row, which I still very much stand by. Nothing that I tried and I purchased in the past I was impressed by. Nothing that I ever felt I really thought was worth the money, but this bag and also some other things that I saw the last time I went to the Row, I felt that they were a lot more well thought out. They were more reasonably priced. This poly bag I have been loving, so I bought this kind of as an alternative to the Chanel 22 bag. I have been looking for a large oversized tote bag that I can take to the gym, I can take to the park, I can use for traveling, a bag that I don't have to worry about too much. So the bag that I had in mind was actually the Chanel 22 bag, but I didn't love the fact that it spelled as Chanel with the metal letters. I didn't like the chain, I didn't like the little charm that it comes with. And personally, I just couldn't justify buying Chanel at this point. I think their pieces are so insanely overpriced considering how tacky the brand is becoming, and that is just my personal opinion. So I have been looking for an alternative. Another bag that I was considering was the Double Sans bag from Hermes, which is not technically discontinued, but it's almost impossible to get from the boutique. And it's not because it's that much in demand, but it's simply because they don't produce much of it. So I was kind of going back and forth on getting it pre-loved, and I found one at, I think, Sotheby's in a nice colorway. But when I came across the Row poly bag, I just had to jump on it because it was in black. The leather felt incredibly soft, and I loved how easy it is to style with so many different things. There are so many ways of twisting it and turning it into a ton of different things. But do keep in mind that I would not style it the way the Row does it, because if you look online, they'll just have the drawstrings hanging on the side, which, I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't make the bag look really special. But if you tie it as you would an actual trash bag, which this bag kind of plays into this trash bag chic idea, I think it looks a lot more interesting. And then another piece that I have been loving from the Row, which I didn't buy this last time, but I think I shared this on my Instagram when I got it a little while ago, is the Row fragrance oil, which I feel like not many people talk about these fragrance oils, but the Row has their own fragrance line. You can only get them from one of their 3 boutiques. They're not sold online, and they're not sold at any other sort of the Row boutique other than their own flagship. So you have to go to London, New York, or LA to pick up one of these fragrance oils. They come in 3 different scents. There is one inspired by roses, which is called R. There is O, which I think is inspired by lilies. It smells like fresh flowers. It also happens to be the most expensive out of the bunch, but it's actually my least favorite. It's a nice scent, but there's just nothing special about it. And then there's W, which is the one that I wear, which just kind of smells like an old, abandoned, dusty, musky, smoky church, which you wouldn't think smells great, but evidently that's how I want to smell. It is one of my most favorite fragrances that I have ever smelled. It is beautiful, but I do have to say that they are insanely expensive. They might be some of the most expensive fragrances out there, and I'm not saying that there isn't anything out there that's more expensive, but if you consider that you get these little tinctures for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I think you get 7 ml in one of these little tinctures. So if you think about the cost per mil, it is just astronomical. But if you love the Row, if you love fragrance oils, and if it brings you joy, definitely give them a sniff. W happens to be my personal favorite if you ever wondered what I personally smell like. But my friends, this actually brings us to the end of our London vlogs. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you so much for coming along with me. If you missed any of these vlogs, I will make sure to have a playlist link down below for you. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, then make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let me know in the comment section what videos you'd like to see from me in the near future. I really appreciate you being here and watching, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really soon.